Hi, this is Laura Fales, Food Service Director for USD 320. And today we're going to be making a You're the Chef salad. The great thing about salads is that you can put whatever you want into them. The thing that makes a chef salad a little bit different is that it also has protein choices. So your recipe says that you can use whatever meat choice that you would like, and the great thing about that is that whatever you have on hand in the fridge will work. In fact, today the fridge was empty of carrots, and so I'll be substituting in some celery to give us that little bit of crunch. And today I'll be using ham, but again, you can use whatever meat of choice, whatever you like, chicken, ham, turkey. The sky's the limit, even that tuna, if you have some left from your tuna salad sandwich. So the other great thing about chef salads during the summer is that you can get so much of the ingredients at local farmers' gardens, markets, or maybe even out of your own garden. The library has lots of books about farming and gardening. Everything from Curious George, Farm to Table, a backyard vegetable garden for kids, growing nutritious food. Some of you may remember One Big Salad. And Let's Get Gardening, a book of 30 easy gardening projects for children. This is something that we're going to be doing here at the district kitchen over the summer as well. We have a new tower garden, and we will be growing different kinds of seeds right here at the district kitchen and serving them as a part of the summer meal program. So let's get started. First things first, make sure you have washed your hands really well for that required 20 seconds. Then we'll prep our vegetables. We have several things to wash this time. So I'm going to take our bell pepper, our cup of cherry tomatoes, the cucumber, and the celery, and put it all into my colander. Then we go to the sink and wash our vegetables. If you're getting your vegetables from a farmer's market or from your backyard garden, it's important to make sure that you thoroughly wash them to remove any dirt and residues and that sort of thing. If you've never had fresh vegetables straight from the garden, I highly recommend that you check out the local farmers markets. Vegetables that are in their peak are so very flavorful. Okay, the base of our salad is lettuce. You should have lettuce in your bag. I'm going to wash it separately. Lettuce is a little more tender and doesn't like to be washed roughly. So I'm going to gently, splattered my own glasses there, gently make sure that I'm washing, and since I'm using romaine, making sure I get between each leaf. It's important to really shake out and dry out your lettuce before you start to tear it or cut it for your salad bowl. It's also perfectly okay to take some paper towels to absorb some of that extra moisture, which is what I'm going to do right now. You just pat it down and soak up all of that excess moisture with a clean paper towel. So I'm going to cut up our head of romaine. Again, when you're using a knife, make sure that you keep your fingers far back from the blade. I like to make sure that I don't leave any pieces that are too big to go on a fork, so I am cutting this up a little pretty finely. I'm going to have this romaine go into our salad bowl. Now what's not in your bag, but which I'm adding today, because remember what I said about you can be so creative with your salads and what goes in them? I'm gonna add a little spinach to give us some extra flavor and some extra iron into our meal. And I'm gonna rip that up just a little bit. You'll need to have a bowl at home for making this. I've chosen one that's a little too large for our salad just so we have room to maneuver. Okay, now we have our base. Delicious romaine and spinach. I'm gonna move that out of the way just briefly, and now I'm gonna prep our other vegetables. Today I'm using an English cucumber. The thing that makes an English cucumber different than a regular cucumber is that the skin is much thinner and it really doesn't need to be peeled off. You can eat the peels on regular cucumbers too, but sometimes they can be tough. So I tend to peel those cucumbers. With these, you can just cut them right up and eat them skin and all. And a lot of the vitamins and nutrients are in the skin. Now your recipe calls for a whole cucumber. The thing about English cucumbers is that they're often a lot longer than our standard cucumbers. So I'm going to cut this one in half and just use half of it. You can cut your cucumbers as narrow or as wide as you would like for your own preference. I like to also cut them in half to make the half moons, just so that they are, again, easier to get onto your fork. Okay, now since I didn't have carrots, I'm going to use this celery. So we're going to cut this celery up. It's good to trim just the very little ends, since those can sometimes be dried out. And then again, you can slice these as, oh, I'm getting into my cucumbers. You can do these as wide or as narrow as you would like. All right, there is our celery. Now, we also have I chose an orange bell pepper just to have the color contrast. I also think that orange and red and yellow bell peppers are just a little bit sweeter than green bell peppers, but everybody has their favorites and you can pick yours. This is how I cut up bell peppers. There are lots of different ways to do it. This is the way that I do it. First, I cut off the top. Then I cut off the bottom and I hang on to these bits. Then I cut down the side and it opens up and I can go around on the inside and get the fleshy parts that don't look as great and the whole seed pod off in one fell swoop. And you'll notice that I've got one seed that I missed. So not bad. Sometimes when you cut into them and just cut, the seeds go everywhere and they can be kind of messy, and that's why people don't like to deal with bell peppers sometimes. But there is a quick, easy way to cut one up without getting seeds all over the place. First, I'm going to cut this into strips. Again, if you're doing this at home, be careful with your knife. Knives do work better when they're kept sharpened. So you might mention to mom and dad, hey, have we ever sharpened our knives? See if there's a knife sharpener in your kitchen. We have several here at the district kitchen so that we can keep our knives nice and sharp. Now that they're cut into strips, I'm going to cut them just a little bit smaller, again, so we have a nice sized bite for our fork. Okay, look how pretty that orange is. Gorgeous. All right. I think that is looking good. Okay. So now we have all of our veggies except for our tomatoes. I am a big cherry tomato fan. I think they have a lot more punch. Sometimes they're called cherry tomatoes, grape tomatoes. We measured out a cup of them, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half so that, again, I'm sure you know what I'm about to say, they'll go on the fork better. So we'll get these all cut in half. Okay. Tomatoes are always something that we've grown in our home gardens, and there's nothing better than a homegrown tomato during the summer. All right. So now I'm going to add these to our salad bowl. And you can layer them. You can mix all of these together in your, like back in your strainer, and then put them on. It doesn't really matter because this is gonna all come together. Look at how gorgeous that is. Beautiful. Now we talked about how chef salad is different than a regular salad because it has protein sources on it. So today we're adding a meat source, and we're also going to use a hard-boiled egg. Hard-boiled eggs are easy to make at home. You can steam them, you can boil them. They have all kinds of egg cookers, and they're a great way to get some instant protein. So I happen to have a whole ham here, and we're going to change our knife. I'm not sure if the camera's catching this, but I'm changing cutting boards and knives since I am using a protein source here. And we're just going to cut this up into some bite-sized bits. Now what I will say is that sometimes when you're working with ham like this that you're cutting, that outside skin can be a little tougher than the rest of the ham, and so maybe you want to cut a little bit further in, not use the heel like I am here, so that you get less of the outside in each bite. But our recipe calls for about an ounce. I'm not going to weigh it, but for 3 people, I think that's, oh, our salad serves 4. I'm just going to think about how much seems about right. Your meat obviously is going to be weighed out for you in your bag. So this looks about right to me, and I'm going to get that added to the top of our salad. And I'm going to kind of do that in the middle. Then we're going to take our eggs. Everybody in this salad is going to get a whole egg. So what I'm going to do is simply cut them in half. Okay. Just like if I was going to make deviled eggs. And then I'm going to place those around the edge of the salad. Because it just looks so fancy. See how you'll be able to impress your parents and your siblings or your grandparents with how beautiful that is. Now, our recipe didn't call for it, and it's not in your bag, but I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of cheese to the top, because look how gorgeous that makes our whole salad look. So, there you have it, a beautiful You're the Chef salad for 4. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the lunch line, and we'll see you at the library.